What is your childhood memory that you thought was normal, but realized it was traumatic later in your life? 1. Every time my dad would pick me up from school, he'd leave me in the car for 3+ hours while he went into the local pub and got drunk. Nothing to do, just sitting there in the car. He'd come back after the few hours had passed and throw me a bag of chips as he started the car. I always thought I was the luckiest boy in the world to be getting those chips. 2. As a kid, I used to brag about being able to sleep for over 24 hours straight to friends or teachers or really whoever would listen. I was mid-sentence mentioning it as a freshman in college when I realized my divorced father was drugging preschool me with cold meds, so I'd sleep through his weekends of custody with me. It really messed up my sense of reality for a while. 3. My older sister used to play our Disney read-along tapes to my younger brother and me while guiding us through the words in the books. She taught us to read this way. I didn't realize until years later that she was using the tapes to cover the sound of our parents fighting downstairs. It saddens me that she never got to have a childhood. 4. My mother would have to regularly go on rescue missions to stop my grandmother from killing herself. I would get phone calls saying, "I'm on the way to grandma's again." 5. My father and I had a game when I was a child. Help Daddy remember what hospital he went to last. My father was mentally ill and would hurt himself purposely to get more anxiety, antipsychotic, and pain drugs. There were 5 hospitals within a 2-hour drive of us, and in those days, early 90s, late 80s, there were no computer systems to track him like there are now. He would literally break his own fingers, burn himself with oil, anything to get what he needed. And it was my job to help him remember so he wouldn't get caught. After he took his life when I was 12, I had a lot of feelings and scary memories to deal with. It's been a long, hard road, but I hope wherever he is, he's not in pain anymore. 6. My mom left me at different places with different people for months at a time. Or when we would be driving, I remember there would be times where she would tell me about the school she was going to take me to, and that I would live there. I remember her describing the horses they had, lies, and how much I would love it. She never ended up taking me there, but would always talk about it like it was some magical place. Found out from my uncle years later it was an orphanage. The only reason she didn't end up taking me is because he threatened to kill her if she did. 7. In middle school, I started getting a lot of stomach aches due to undiagnosed acid reflux. I was also a really anxious kid, so I feared I was gonna throw up a lot. Thus, almost every night, I'd take half a Tums. When I offhandedly told my best friend, she looked terrified. "I think you might be addicted to Tums," she said. We had just learned about addiction, and I told her I didn't feel withdrawal without the medicine and that I was just taking it as prescribed. She still seemed unconvinced, so I told her she was being silly and dropped it. In high school, I learned her brother's drug addiction had been tearing the family apart, and she was probably terrified one of her closest friends was using too. 8. My stepdad would frequently play fight with me and my sister when my mom wasn't home, but his play fighting was actual abuse. Most of the abuse was punching and stuff, but the worst one I remember was him tying me to a chair with a ton of duct tape, taping my mouth, and just leaving me there for over an hour.